Tuesday, April 16th, 2019, Maneco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. So this morning I made a different kind of video, and I said I might make another video this afternoon about the markets. So here I am back home doing something about the markets. It's 4:45 p.m. London, so it's almost midday Eastern Standard or Eastern Time in the US. The markets have been fairly volatile. I want to talk in particular about precious metals, gold and silver. I know many of you are probably frustrated, and believe me, I started purchasing gold and silver back in 2002, and it is frustrating. It's a frustrating market, I have to say, but in the long run it pays off. And what makes me hold on to gold and silver? Well, because once I bought gold and silver, I wanted to know more about it, and I did a lot of research about the history of gold and silver and how it actually was part of the monetary system. And then you'd learn how this current monetary system is actually completely broken and is not normal at all. For example, if you look at a timeline of monetary history in the last few thousand years, what we have now is a tiny little piece of the timeline, and it's not normal. I know it's very frustrating. I remember the first time I bought gold, the exact price was around $321. And that was spring of 2002 or thereabouts, don't remember exactly, and 321. So, and the price did start rising eventually. In about a year, 18 months, we got up to 400. But I can remember that in pounds, which is the currency that I actually also look at gold at because I live in the UK. It was very frustrating for the first 3-4 years. We were stuck around 200 to 220 to 230 sterling for the ounce of gold, and then all of a sudden 06, 07 it just started zooming up. Should you be concerned about the price of gold? I don't think so. If anything, it might help you insure yourself against this crazy monetary system we have in a cheaper fashion. Do I encourage people to buy gold to get rich or silver? No. It's just an insurance to try to protect what you've been able to save if you're lucky enough to save some fiat money. That's the way I look at it. You just have to go back in history, and not even that far back. You go back to 1968, gold was $35 an ounce. Now we're just below 1,300, so it protects you. The other thing it does, it keeps you outside the banking system. Of course, you need to be careful where you store your gold, and yeah, like everything in life, you need to guard it well. But by having money in the bank these days, legally it's not yours. Here in the UK, it's an unsecured loan to a bank, and this is the same thing in the US. Do you really want to finance the banks? The people who almost brought down the system in 2007, 2008, they almost brought down, they almost brought down the system as well in the early 30s, late 20s, early 30s, and that's why there was a bank holiday, because people lost complete confidence in the banking system. Yes, I saw this morning that gold was holding, it was down, but it was holding around 1286, 1288. And I've noticed that the drop down was around 1:30 p.m. London, which is around 8:30 a.m. New York. The regular session for COMEX futures starts at 8:20, and usually you have a economic number at 8:30. I didn't see if there was a number today. I don't think there was. Yeah, I saw that someone came in and just smashed the gold price down. You need to understand, though, that a lot of people trade gold and they use the futures to leverage their positions. They trade it like any other instrument. You can do that as well, but what I do for myself is hold gold, just like I, hold my home, my property, my real estate. I don't check the price of my house, every every day. I guess I do. We do check the price of gold every day because it's traded as a commodity in the futures market. What I'm trying to say is, don't be so concerned. I would say it's it is very frustrating, and I have to admit, a lot of times it's frustrating holding gold. And then I try to look at the alternatives, and I don't find any good alternatives. That's what you need to think about. Do you really want to invest in, put your money in the bank, or buy treasuries to finance the deep state, or buy a corporate bond that could go bust? Yeah, maybe you can. Maybe you can, put some part of your money there with some income. But income nowadays is so low. Interest rates are near zero. So anything that promises you 5-6% these days, I would be wary of. I received something the other day, like in the post. It came actually through The Economist magazine, Funding Circle in the UK. I think some of you have heard of that company, and they fund small businesses in the UK, and they're promising anywhere from like 4.5 to 6.5%. And yeah, you might get away with it. You might make a decent income for a while, but I don't think it's worth the risk, especially when UK interest rate, the base rate, is at 0.5%. Something that's yielding 5 or 6% is very risky. Some people would say, well, but gold doesn't pay any interest. Of course it doesn't. If you don't lend it, of course it's not going to pay any interest. But cash is the same, even in the bank, unless you put it in a savings account. And right now, savings accounts are not really earning anything, or very minimal amount. And we see the cost of living going higher as well. And in some countries like Northern Europe, Switzerland, the Scandinavian countries, you've got negative interest rates. So if you leave your money in the bank there, it's actually being taken away from you. It's just as bad as inflation, this negative interest rates. So yeah, gold right now, 1275. It's down almost 1% on the day. The only thing that looks a little more positive is that silver is almost unchanged, and it's just under 15. So I'm not sure what to make of this. I've been talking about this falling wedge in gold in the weekly chart, and as you can see here, we're testing the lower bound of that falling wedge. So normally we should find some support here. This is me talking as a trader, of course. In the long term, I'm not concerned. I'm holding on to my physical gold and my physical silver. Have I ever traded gold futures? I have in the past, but I don't do it anymore. I did it when I worked in the city, when I was like at the desk following all the markets minute by minute. When I had a feeling for the market, I would trade it. And I did it quite successfully. But it's something that you need to give 24/7. It's almost like how can I say? You have to run it as a business. You can't trade part-time. I don't recommend people to trade part-time. Billy tried it as well, gave up because he's too busy burying bones. That's what I told him, go bury your bones for a rainy day instead of trying to trade silver. Yeah, because Billy's a silver bug, by the way. So here we go. I've taken the weekly chart now of gold back to like 2012, And as you can see here, we're just range trading at the moment in gold. And in the longer term, we're nearer to the upper level than the lower level. 1375 is still the important level here. And let's just keep an eye on this flag. So I would say technically the one thing that is positive today is that silver is held on quite well. Historically, when you have a big down day in gold like this, silver would normally be down like 2 or 3%, and it's only down 0.1 of a percent or 1/10 of a percent. I've noticed the stock market is up here. The Dow's up 60, but it was up a lot more earlier, so it's dropped quite a bit. Let's see, in the last few hours. So there you go. Tomorrow morning, I'll be back to doing my normal videos. The reaction to the video I did this morning, which was about the fire at Notre Dame Cathedral, or Notre Dame Cathedral, not Notre Dame as the Americans say it. Yeah, it was an interesting video. I just wanted to let you know the video. So the video was called Notre Dame Fire, Globalist False Flag to Trigger World War III, ? And of course, it's had loads of views compared to my normal videos, but YouTube has made it not suitable for most advertisers. So basically, they demonetized it, which is not surprising. I heard as well that the Al-Aqsa Mosque at the Temple Mount in Jerusalem, there was a fire there yesterday. I'm not sure if it was at the same time as the fire at Notre Dame, but it was yesterday. And that's one of the major mosques worldwide for Muslims in Jerusalem. It's on Temple Mount. You know, a lot of Jews and Zionists want to build the third temple. So very interesting developments. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button. If you are not a subscriber yet, think about subscribing. And also don't forget to hit the little notification bell above here to be notified of my new videos. You can also follow me on Twitter, Steemit, and on DTube. I wish you all a great rest of the day. Take care. Bye.